recently, Patrick Ewing, he turned 62. So we're gonna talk some of the best moments of his career with the Knicks. And then from there, we're gonna go with Jalen Brunson. Once again, I'm here with my guy Jason Guido. Jason,
Good morning,
how you
Mike.
doing,
What's up?
man? I'm doing
Yeah, I'm on
great,
the road
man.
today.
Out on the road?
Yep.
All right, all right. So Patrick Ewing, man. Patrick Ewing. Um I feel that as the years goes by, he becomes more of this underrated center. Um for crazy reasons, but I have some moments that I have written down that Patrick Ewing has performed. And man, those early 90s, like I'm talking about from like 90 to like 94, he put up some amazing numbers for the Knicks. Not just even
Oh
in the
yeah.
postseason, but the regular season as well.
Yeah, he was the golden guy. He was the big scorer for the Knicks. He was the big center. If it wasn't for him, they wouldn't have done anything in the playoffs in any of those years. He was the captain.
Yeah, he was a great scorer, a rebounder, and a defender as well. I never liked his jump shot. I couldn't stand it, but hey, if it goes in, it goes in.
At the time, he was one of the better centers who were able to hit a jump shot. But looking at the rim anyway. A lot of a lot of centers back in that time period used to play with their back to the basket or pick and roll or something along those lines. But it was effective for him, effective for Patrick Ewing, that jumper, that 20-foot jumper he used to uh, use in the paint.
Yeah, and this was at a time where the post game was very strong. It's not like nowadays that you have the big man shooting threes now.
Oh,
So
right.
guys
Exactly.
like him and Alonzo Mourning and the list goes on and on. It was all about the post game back then. So and I missed that kind of game, but hey, you know how sports is always constantly evolving and changing. But there's three particular games that that I want to mention that, in my opinion, are some of his best moments. He had so many, but I'm gonna go down the list.
Okay.
One of them, well, basically three of them came from the 92 season, 91, 92 season. So against the Pistons, this was at the end of the Bad Boy Pistons era. He
Right.
scored 45 points, 10 rebounds, and 4 blocks, which was, magnificent. And then he almost did the same thing against the Hawks that same year, which he dropped 43 points, 14 rebounds, and 2 blocks. And then last but not least, this one came in the playoffs. If it wasn't for Jordan, the Bulls, the Knicks could have arguably gone to the finals for 3 straight years. And when they faced
That's
off in
yes.
92, in the conference semifinals in game one,
Right.
Patrick Ewing dropped 34, 16 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 steal, and 6 blocks. They didn't win that game because obviously Jordan was being Jordan. And that Knicks 92 team, alongside with the 98 Pacers team, were the only two teams to take Jordan the Bulls to 7 games in a
Right.
series.
Yeah. Because they were able to match their defensive intensity too. Most of the other teams that played against the Bulls, they didn't have that great defense that the Knicks had. Great defense, good rebounding. And the Knicks got enough scoring, at that time period.
Yeah, and John Starks, when you look at some of those games, especially in 92 and 93, he guarded Jordan pretty well, but Jordan was being Jordan. He was in his prime. Nothing was stopping him.
Yeah, true. I mean, he is the center. It's hard to, double team that high. Jordan being the shooting guard or sometimes playing point guard. Um, it's hard for the Patrick to come out and defend used to defend Jordan. Jordan go on anybody and shoot over anybody. So it didn't matter who you put on him anyway. But they did an okay job on him.
Yeah. But Patrick Ewing, great big man who doesn't get his dues because he doesn't have a championship. And you know how it is in
Right.
sports, if
Of
you don't have
course.
this, no matter how
Yeah, no,
great
of
you are,
course.
you're gonna get mentioned like that. It's same thing with John Starks. John Starks is one of my favorite point guards that I didn't get to see him at his prime. I only got to see the last 3, 4 years of his career, but he's another one that he's the true quintessential of what a point guard is. But he doesn't get his flowers his due. Why? Because his style of play doesn't is not everyone's favorite cup of tea, and he doesn't
Right.
have a championship. So
Well, John Starks was a CBA player. I don't believe he was drafted. The Knicks got him from the CBA. That was the developer league back then, and he got better. I mean, he was almost 20 plus scorer a game. He was able to defend. He was able to rebound. So he was a pretty good package. He was able to pass the ball. So he was a good package for the Knicks.
and now Jalen Brunson, the new Knicks captain. I believe he's the first Knicks captain since Patrick Ewing, and I believe so. So you could correct me on that if I'm wrong.
Um,
But
I thought Stephon Marbury was the captain, but I would have to double check on that. We'll get back to that. Well, next time we come on, I'll double check that. I'm not sure who the last Knicks captain is.
yeah. But I'm happy. I'm happy that he was announced captain.
Yeah,
I
no,
mean, we saw that he was a leader of that team, but the fact that he got mentioned now that he's named the captain is a tremendous accomplishment. And I like the letter that Patrick Ewing wrote to Jalen Brunson. I saw this morning, and it was very heartfelt, very touching. From one great Nick to another Nick that hopefully he'll retire as a Nick when it's all said and done.
yes, I hope so
And
too.
yeah, but he got praise and nice messages from him, from Jeter, from Allan Houston. Allan Houston to this day is my favorite Nick player.
Really,
Of
I
all
didn't know
time.
that.
Yeah, Allan Houston. Yep, yep. His jump shot was beauty. I wish he could have stayed healthy. I wish he could have had more success with the Knicks, but it is what it is, you
It
know.
is what it is. Yeah, no, it happens.
So, but I was a very big fan. I mean, I grew up on Allen Houston, so
Right,
but
right.
the fact that
He
he
got hurt. Remember when he got hurt? That ruins his whole Knicks legacy, and they lost a big scorer. So, I mean, the Knicks didn't really recover from that for a long time.
yeah, Jalen Brunson is my favorite Knick since Allen Houston. So, but I'm very happy for Jalen Brunson. And do you think that it was the right time for naming him captain, or you think that he should wait a little bit longer?
No, personally, I think it was a good idea that he's the captain. He is the team leader. He's the top scorer. The offense is going to run through him. He took less money to for the Knicks, so his 4 year contract at 104 or $5 million, I can't remember what it was. The Knicks will be able to sign another, continue to sign another player if they need it going forward, maybe at the trade deadline or put somebody else or go into next season. But him taking less money really helped the Knicks a lot.
And he wants to win, man. I saw that press conference. Him, obviously the new captain now. He wants to win. You could tell that he wants it. He wants to be in New York, and that's what you want. You want someone that he's gonna give it all, and
But
that wants to win. He cares about winning. So, and you could see it. His years with Dallas prepared him for this moment, and now he's the top guy. He's the top guy in New
no,
York.
he's the top guy now. It's gonna run around him. The offense and the Knicks' future depends on his good play and his health.